countdown. Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's having a fantastic evening. Looks like it's just two of us this evening, Eric. I put out a call to the other two, and maybe they'll show up, maybe they won't. Who knows?
Who knows?
It is what it is. I come to you guys in my backup office. We're currently doing some renos at our house. I'm staying at my mother-in-law's rental, and yeah, it's this is one of the rooms, and it's got a goose on the right there. I think it's a goose or a swan on the wall. So yeah, exactly. How do I point here?
Yeah.
Eric, how was your week?
It was another week of Mondays. So,
are you affected? I think we asked this last week, but are you affected at all by the shutdown in any ways, or is it?
No, I'm in state government, not federal.
Right.
And the agency that I work for doesn't receive a lot of federal funding or anything. So,
okay. So you're safe. Well, as safe as
we had our own state kerfuffle. They did not meet the deadline constitutionally for a budget, but passed a continuing resolution for a week and then finished it up I think 5 days later or something like that. So
I like Jesse's, we'll call it less unsafe.
Yeah. So and it, technically I wouldn't be included with essential personnel for a shutdown.
Right.
But the last time that we came close to it happening, I actually got included with that group, so I would have kept working.
Right. Gotcha.
Kept working without pay.
Right. I was going to say, the caveat being there, no pay.
Yeah.
It's funny, I think we said this last week, but there are contingencies within the Canadian governmental infrastructure that even if government is disbanded because of a vote of no confidence, the business still continues, right? Even if we're rebuilding a government, the business still continues.
And there's something to be said for the parliamentary system for that. But, if things had gone so that it wasn't a two-party system here, of course, almost out of the gate, we became a two-party system. Might have been a little different, but oh well. It is what it is.
It is what it is, indeed. Well, the main thing is you're not affected, and that's what matters.
Right, yeah. That's good, because I like food.
Yep. And if you are affected, we send our love, I guess.
Oh, that'll keep me warm. Yeah. Thank you. But I do feel bad for a lot of the people that are impacted, because this isn't your normal shutdown this time. It's a highly irregular, dysfunctional version of it. So
it's a highly opportunistic political move.
Yeah,
is how I take it.
Yes,
right? It's like the Reichstag is on fire, but we won't go there.
Very apt analogy. So anyway, and I really don't want to get too much into the political stuff.
For sure.
Not because I think it's uninteresting or even not. It's not even inappropriate. It's just I'm really tired.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
I also had a week of Mondays. It's been a crazy. It's it's the lead up to Thanksgiving for us, because Canadians have Thanksgiving at the appropriate time, at the end of harvest, not a month after harvest when everything is desolate and cold for some reason. I don't understand American Thanksgiving. But anyway, again, we could go on a bit of a tirade. But yeah, so it's the lead up to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is this week. We have Monday off. This Friday, or today, was we had what they call SEL check-ins at the school. So like social emotional check-ins. It's not really parent-teacher interviews. It's like, how are your kids doing socially? How are your kids doing emotionally in class? And So as a non-homeroom teacher, I didn't have to do those, so I got to hang out and help my fellow um, teachers. Basically, they were doing Skypes and they didn't work, or if they were doing Zooms and they didn't work, I was there to provide
Yeah.
some assistance. So
I thought perhaps your job was to distribute polo, or I mean not polo shirts, Hawaiian shirts.
I'm trying to make that my job. If there was a way that I could be paid to do that and paid handsomely, I would totally do that. And then, of course, the rest of the week we had this past Thursday night. I was executive producer of a Christian rock concert, which is a very strange thing to say. I just
Yeah.
I got roped into it. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool to see so many young people, excited about their faith, sharing it with each other, and so.
Mm-hmm.
If you're into that, that was kind of cool. I was just there to make sure the sound systems or the sound people were able to do what they needed to do, and the video people were able to do what they needed to do, and coordinate between the two, and provide water for all the acts, and stand around the green room and try not to look strange, and crack a few jokes when I can. So it was kind of fun.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, but we have basically I feel like there's a run up till Christmas now. Every weekend or every other weekend, there's something on the go.
Yeah.
Next weekend we have we've been invited by our local library to present, as we do every year, a retro Saturday. So we set up all our retro machines inside the library, and they invite the kids and adults alike to come to the library, experience the library as it normally is, but then also to come to the multi-purpose room, if you want to call it that, and play with some old tech. So what's really neat is one of our local guys, Kyle, has built an entire phone system now, kind of like Shady Tell at VCF. He's built his own version and has built it into like a traveling type case so that he can take it. So we're gonna have a really cool sort of telephones through the ages display.
Oh, does he have his own barbed wire fence for wiring?
Right, that's what he needs. But right now he just runs the wires on the ground. But in the future, we have discussed aerial deployment of wires. So
Yeah.
Mac 84. I heard a Christmas themed ad on the radio, and I was like, no.
I was about to go there too. I was. It's like we haven't even started Halloween. Come on,
You know what I blame? I blame Disney and Tim Burton. Because
I blame commercialism, but you just went there.
No. See, what happened was, up until 1991 or 92, whenever Nightmare Before Christmas came out, there was a very defined line between Christmas and the spooky season, and he just blurred it.
Yeah, and the dividing line is Thanksgiving. You're supposed to wait until, well, in the U.S., traditionally, you wait until Thanksgiving, and then the Christmas displays come out.
Right. So here in Canada, it's Remembrance Day, November 11th, Armistice Day. We celebrate that. So usually we try to hold off, or most people try to hold off the festive stuff until after November 11th.
Yeah. We celebrate the same thing here in the U.S.
Yeah. But you have Veterans Day too, correct?
Yes.
Like there's something that happens. Is it May?
Well, there's Veterans Day, and then there's what's the opposite of Veterans Day?
Pacifist Day?
No.
That would be the opposite.
There's two. You celebrate people that have sacrificed,
right,
and given their life in service. And then there's the ones that you survived, and you celebrate them. And you don't want to confuse the two.
Right. Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we used to celebrate Armistice Day for World War I, but that's kind of gone to the wayside.
So we kept that in Canada. That is our official Remembrance Day, we call it, and it encapsulates celebrating the current and the surviving, and celebrating the past and those who passed, gave the ultimate sacrifice. Yeah. So we celebrate them both, but it's a fairly solemn day. And in Newfoundland, I think I've said this before, July 1st is Canada Day, but in Newfoundland, July 1st is also is our country's Memorial Day, when we were a country. So we celebrate half Canada Day, half special Remembrance Day on July 1st as well.
Sorry, there was a contention over a pumpkin pie slice, the
Ooh,
last one.
and who won?
So, my wife, she asked
Of
if she
course.
could have it. I'm like, I'm online. Go ahead. I don't care. So,
Now you've trained her. She's going to ask you important questions while you're on the line. That way,
right, right.
can I come on and chat about impending? What is this? Implementing a capacitor today? Sure, Steve, join us.
We have the capacity to discuss
Hey,
capacitor day.
oh,
Save
yeah.
us, Steve. The puns
Yeah.
are getting worse.
We're going to be put in the. We're going to be put in the punitentiary,
Right. Yes.
where we'll be punished because we think we're punny. I'm sorry. I'll crawl into a hole now. So who do we have in chat? Eric? Who's having a chat with us?
Take a look here. Beginning with the beginning, StreamYard is in the chat.
Of course.
Oh wait, no,
They're
that's
always
not.
here first.
Thomas Armstrong.
Hey, Thomas.
Apple's Anonymous.
Oh, from down under.
And JC.
Of course, Jesus
Thank
Christ
you,
is here.
JC. We need all the help we can get.
Yep.
CDI and Joe's Computer Museum. I've heard of him.
Yeah, I feel like he sells things. Do you know where you might check out to see where he might be selling things?
I know there's something to do with JCM.
-1.com? That comes to mind.
Yeah, that's it.
If only there was a ticker on the bottom of our screen.
Yeah. And then there's Rudy's Retro Intel, of course.
Hey, Rudy.
And i80-386SX. I did it right this time.
It's just easier to call him by his name.
I don't know his name. I never can remember his name. You guys probably have noticed this about me. Names, faces, handles.
Yeah.
Don't stick. So,
Jesse is his name.
Jesse. Okay, I'll forget it after, like 2 minutes from now.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve from Mac 84. Now that one, I've had beat into my skull so I can remember Steve.
Well, it's the ones that say their name at the beginning of all their YouTube videos.
That's
how you get it. It's like a little earworm, and it gets into your brain.
And it takes me about 5 years to get there. So, and we have the big bad biologist.
Hey, it's John. John, has anything exploded today? I mean, I know he likes to explode things on stream, so I'm just wondering, do you have anything planned to explode?
Or something that's organically crusty and going to infect you.
Yeah, I feel like if there's ever to be like a what's the game? The Last of Us type zombie apocalypse, John's going to find it, and it's going to be inside some sort of old Apple computer.
He's going to open one up,
yeah.
And it won't be one of his cordyceps creations. It'll be a natural one that
and it'll just spray him in the face, and then he'll become patient zero.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like we should do a comic series now.
I don't know. I've been trying to figure out for next year for VCF, I will have a whole lot of equipment to get rid of because I'm on a 5-year plan now, like the Soviet Union, to downsize.
Are you going to murder 20 million of your people?
No. But I will have a 5-year crop plan where I'm going to meet every 5-year plan and all that kind of. No, I need to downsize. So I'm going to be selling off a lot of equipment next VCF. But I do want to work on some things, and of course I'll have my game available at it, and maybe I'll have some add-ons or something. Oh my gosh, it's that.
Wow, Ron,
that
you've lost a lot of hair.
Well, it's the Midwest. Things happen.
It got windy today, and it just decided to take off.
Yeah,
you're not the first person to mistake me for that, gentleman.
I hear that you've been busy archiving lots of goodies lately.
Oh yes. Do you want to see something fun?
Ooh,
Ooh. Is
Ooh,
that
the-
one of the, who's the guy that made his own
Phil.
floppy disk?
Oh yeah.
Is it Phil? No, what's the
No, this
3D
is this
print
is
guy?
just a very worn disc, but you could see through it now. So
It's
It's
a
a feature.
ViewMaster disk.
It's a ViewMaster.
yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. Can we
Put another
like
window in it.
can we put the things inside a floppy disk to make it a ViewMaster? There's so much
Fantastic.
data.
That's a neat idea. We could have a little secret peep show thing, and you turn it. And...
And it's just got
I will
salacious
say-
computer pictures.
I will say that the applesauce disk imager was actually able to read some of the data off of this thing,
Oh, wow.
which was incredible. Just not the clearly missing data lines. Yeah.
It's Bluetooth at this point. So what is that data? What was it?
It was actually just some test files for that Mac Calc software, which I have like a whole box of disks from,
Okay.
and plus another box under that, which I'm going through.
Did you say you found an Apple employee disk again?
Yes, I found 3 disks from Joanna Hoffman. They are in here.
Ooh.
And I put them there so I wouldn't mix them up with anything else. But there's a Mac Plus system boot disk. That is the one that had the unarchived version of Res Edit on there, which is really cool. So if I hold this up to the camera, if it wants to focus, almost
Yeah,
there. It's
there
very
seems
faint.
to be some kind of
Writing.
scripting on it.
Yeah, and then there's because the handwriting was very different from the rest, and then there was a System 3.2
Mm-hmm.
floppy, and then this one might be hers. It says multi-plan, so obviously a copy.
Could say multipass. That'd be totally different.
And this was just abbreviated as J's disk, so that might stand for Joanna. Who knows?
Cool.
But these all came from the same individual, Rick Ross, who did Mac Calc, and that's how he got one of his Macs, because Joanna gave him one of these Macintosh systems, and it turned out to be a pre-production system
Cool.
that he used for all those years. So last year or the year before that, they came to me to try and help assess the situation, and as part of my fee, didn't get anything financial, but I got a whole bunch of floppies.
Oh, is that the one that you helped restore, or and it was in a bag, or some
Yeah.
sort of like case? Yeah.
So there's a whole video about that, but yeah, it was neat looking through them, because I mean, a lot of these discs, they don't really have too many labels, or they are just very scribbly. You can't really tell, and some of the handwriting is very off. But I have about 50 versions of Mac Calc now, ranging
Nice.
from like a beta of a beta to this is a 1.2b. So I think this was not archived before. That piece of software was on a list on Macintosh Garden of, if you find this, archive it. And I just have every version manageable, including likely 5 versions of the source code or so. So if anybody really wants to use this piece of software, there you go. It's archived now.
or reproduce something from it from the source code. I mean,
that is true. Yeah. And I do have a bunch of physical copies. I think I gave a few of the folks at VCF last year. I had brought like 2 or 3 copies to give away. If any of you gentlemen really want to run calculating spreadsheety type software, you let me know. I'll send you a copy.
Ooh.
Don't threaten you with a good time. I know.
Right.
Oh yes, yeah. Bean counting is my life.
Oh yes. It's actually my strange kink. Thanks.
Well, for the next 47 minutes, we're going to go through the user's manual, and we'll lose more viewers. Trying to get to negatives here. Come on, folks.
So any other gets this week, Steve? Did you pick up anything?
Yes, and I did not plan on being here, or I would have brought things to show. But I got an Apple mug. It's actually, you know what? You go first. Now, let me go grab the thing. I'll be right back.
Okay. Mine's a very short list.
Yeah, mine as well. You may go ahead, Eric.
I don't have anything.
Oh,
I didn't get anything this last week.
The only thing I got was a really cool book that I was excited about. It's not related to anything.
Yeah.
But in the lieu of, again, I don't want to be too political, but what's going on in the United States, it's the separation of church and hate. It's a sane person's guide to taking the Bible back from fundamentalists, fascists, and flock fleecing frauds. Good alliteration there.
We're not doing very well.
I know, computer stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's written by a guy whose mother was a former nun and his father was a former friar. So I was like, kind of a fun read. John Stewart and Stephen Colbert both wrote a little thing about this. So I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I'm going to pick it up.
Oh, cool.
Because that's something that's important to me, and people tend to weaponize the Bible. So it's nice to be able to fix that. Anyway, Steve, go ahead. Show us your gets.
As I walked away, I was hearing Eric, "Oh, I don't got anything." I'm like, "Oh crap! I better hurry."
Run, Steve, run.
So there were a few things on eBay that I've been
have
following.
this.
Ooh,
Mac and cheese.
shake it. That's our music section of the episode.
I'll get my didgeridoo.
A wee mo way, a wee mo way. All right. Anyway, that's how this episode ends, with a copyright strike. Very befitting of the platform. So I have some safe searches on eBay, and every once in a while something will come up. It's usually I'm trying to find something to archive, whether it's a disc or a manual or something like that. And this came up from one of a lot, and it's one of those things where you click on something that the person has, and you go, "Oh, they have this weird esoteric Apple thing. Let me see what else they have." And it's this little pencil case. It has a little zipper on it, and it's supposed to be, into a 3-ring binder or something like that. But I thought that was pretty neat. And
Are
yeah.
you sure it's pencils? I've seen similar things, and they have discs in them.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have the shapes for a disc. I have one that does have the shapes for a disc. But this one, they labeled it as a pencil case.
Oh, I thought that was for an 8-inch floppy.
The zipper's actually stuck, so who knows what it's actually for. But
only candy, Ned. $90.
$90. Yeah. And the second is an Apple mug, a very traditional Apple mug. And I did not
OG or a repop?
Oh, it's an original one. You could see the silk screening on the logo is just slightly off on some of the. Come on.
Have you checked it for DNA yet?
Not yet. You can see like the red is sort of shifted a little bit, just of a lot of those things. And I like how it says made in, and then they stopped. So
Oregon?
Oi.
Ohio?
Oi. I don't know.
Okinawa? I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't think they make a lot of mugs in Okinawa.
Yeah. I will put it in my Trapper Keeper, John. But what led me there was this.
Man. Garth says he has that mug. Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Sales web.
So this is what led me to find those items. So Apple Sales Web was a series of CDs, and they have sales stuff on them. So most of it's like, how to power up your sales and a lot of stuff. But what happened is in the late 90s, Apple had all these marketing and sales discs and stuff like that. And a lot of these marketing discs had software and demos and things. Mm-hmm. So they started to move around where some of this data is. And so where on some CDs, you would get great, beautiful, high resolution photographs and stuff like that. Sometimes they're on the sales discs instead of the marketing discs. So it's sort of like a wash. And so I literally have one of these Apple Sales Web CDs, and there's like one or two online. And this is just a little CD wallet, and we'll look at what's inside in a second. But it's just, it's a little CD wallet, and they just had like burned copies of the Mac OS in it, which I think is funny. So we have like iLife 04. Who remembers the Apple DVD-Rs?
And I mean, that's so legit.
Yeah, and that's another conversation Garth and I were having, because one of these sellers that had some of these discs, which we'll talk about in a sec, had this Xserve Simulation Tool CD. Never heard of it before. They want way too much money for it. This guy must be seeing polka dots,
I know what I have.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, this came with the Leopard disc. It came with a Office Mac disc and a G4 install disc. So nothing sales webby, unfortunately. But what's interesting is if I find one of those discs, I have a place for it.
Right. So did the guy, were you talking to him? Was he a sales rep or?
I did not actually message him, other than like to make an offer. And, eBay makes it a little bit difficult to message. Sometimes it won't tell you, but it actually won't send the message. And then you find out a little few days later when you go to your message history and what you sent is no longer there. We joke that the Xserve simulation CD is just a MP3 of like a big fan spinning,
Just noise.
and then like some blinking lights, and like that's it. It's a flash animation.
It requires a subwoofer and other,
Fun little side note: if you're ever on eBay and you want to talk to the person, but obviously eBay doesn't let you put in contact details, say part number, and then put your phone number in.
Nice. I sent an image once.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I'm sure it's on my permanent record somewhere. But as Garth and I and others were lamenting about these insane prices of these Apple CDs, and by the way, if you have one of these sales web discs or any other of these Apple discs or anything that needs to be archived, just do the right thing and archive it. You don't know how? Contact one of us crazy people. We'll be happy to tell you how. But the way I see it, these discs are absolutely worthless.
Mm-hmm.
They're a neat commodity, but they should not be asking like this. This disc was being sold on eBay for $100. Thankfully, my listing was $9 with free shipping, much more affordable.
Yeah.
Same exact disc. This is one I actually had a copy of already, but it's in nice shape, and I thought it was for $9. I'm like, yeah, sure. It was with some of the other stuff.
Can I make a suggestion to you, Steve? Because the guys who's got that for sale probably not watching our video, if we're honest. Message him and say, listen, I want to make sure this is the actual CD that I'm looking for. Can you image it and send me the digital copy just so I can verify it, and then I'll buy it?
Verify.
Now, to be fair, some people who I've contacted have been very generous with their time. One individual had a Smith Corona typewriter, and it was a word processor, I'm sorry, and had a floppy disk, and the disk was with utilities on it, and the whole purpose of that disk was you would load it onto your PC with DOS or whatever, and when you would do that, you would load a little program that would give it some sort of smarts to convert whatever format that the word processor had into something like WordPerfect or Microsoft Word or Notepad or whatever. That was lost to time. And I had one of these machines, and I said, oh, you know what? If you don't end up selling this, I would buy just the disc from you. And the person said, well, how do I copy it? And I said, well, I could, if you send me the disc, I have an archiver here. I could try and make a copy of it. He mailed me the disc. I made a copy of it. Whatever tool I was using at the time apparently didn't make 100% perfect copy of it. So when I mailed it back, I thought I had a working copy, but I didn't have an old PC to test it on. And I ended up, being able to convert the files enough, but it was like one of the tools wasn't working or whatever happened. He ended up selling that machine or whatever. And years later, he emails me, oh, I got into a friend and he was doing stuff, and here's a copy of the disc. And he sent me an image file of the floppy. It's like, you didn't have to do anything. This probably cost him more money because, he probably didn't sell the damn thing. But he was super nice and helpful. And other people, on eBay, he's like, oh, could you take a photo of this? Like, no. I'm like, all right, well, there you go.
You clearly don't want to sell it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, as Garth says, the value is so low, scarcity doesn't equate value, especially when it's a 25 megabytes of a flash demo. Well, that's the thing. I mean, people were listing these, and I'll stop ranting in a second, but people were listing these as like DVDs. Like, they don't even know what they are.
Right.
And some of them are nice because
Apple on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're paying the Apple tax. Right?
Some of them are nice because they actually come with this little insert. And if you look at the insert, besides the system requirements, hold on there, buddy. You need all of 8 megabytes here to run this sucker. But what's interesting is if you open this up, you will get a directory listing of what's on each disk. Not all of them have this, unfortunately, but you do get a listing. So you can say, oh, this has, some movies on here. This has things about Apple products of the day, has data sheets, and it says what's on one disk and what's on the other. And there are multiple versions of these. So this is the provider edition, but there's also reseller editions and things like that. And from what I gather, the big difference there is what type of software was included on it. There were also internal editions that were just for Apple employees and like. So there's multiple versions of these, and not all of them are, unfortunately, out there for people to download. So it's one of those things where a lot of people They see the Apple logo, they see dollar signs, they go, oh, I'm going to put this up. Or they were a reseller for some period of time and they see some polka dot weirdo online selling things for big bucks. They assume what they have is worth that because eBay makes it hard for you to see what things actually sold for versus what a ridiculous asking price is. So there's obviously that weird inflation going on, but sometimes if people don't sell things, they eventually lower the price. So we'll see what happens, but the majority of these things, unfortunately, I think are just being tossed out without anybody caring about things like my earpod.
I like how you said tossed out in your earpod, just like it expelled itself from your ears.
These stupid things don't fit in my ears. And I got like these special little thingamajigs that, the little pads or whatever, and they just, You got
to get somebody to do the is it like a silicone where they inject it in your ear, put the thing in, and make a perfect earpiece?
Somebody get me Steve Jobs on the line. Talk to him.
Well, it's simple. You're supposed to get plastic surgery so that you can use them.
We got to fix all this first before we get to the ears.
If we pull it all real tight on the back of the head, it should. It'll pull this hair up to the top.
I need the reverse. I need someone to pull this forward.
I could just pull from the back. Hold on.
Although I will say this, one of the nice things about getting older is that you don't lose as much hair, which is why eyebrows turn into this, and I could comb over ear hair if I needed to.
Oh, we're in that part of the discussion.
Very sexy.
Just standing around like, what is all this noise? What's the rustling? Wind blowing through his ear.
I'm opening a package. If this is what I think it is, I will share it in a moment.
Uh-oh. It was, in fact, a bomb.
This is a sick world we're living in. Oh, I think
it didn't come from a cabin out west.
It didn't come from a Mr. Polka Dot, did it?
No, this came from the island of Japan.
Ooh.
Nippon.
Konnichiwa.
And I saw a YouTube video about this. I said, that's going to be stupid expensive to import. It will sit on my shelf. I will not actually use the darn thing.
But I have to have it.
But I had to have it. And it is a soundtrack for Tron that looks like it's on a floppy disk.
9 Inch Nails.
So apparently that movie is getting like the worst reviews.
I don't care. I have a CD that looks like a floppy disk, and all is right in the world.
And it's 9 Inch Nails.
It just looks like a floppy. What? Why? Why not? Make me small. We're upsetting Chris.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Chris. Didn't mean to upset.
Sorry, Chris. We offended the eyes. Quick, look at the Hawaiian shirt. All will be right in the world.
I did receive one thing last week.
Oh, what was that?
Yes.
Okay, and hang on.
I got a quick question while you're doing that. Did you skin Gut Bomb? And because it looks like you have his pants behind you, over your shoulder. It looks like Gut Bomb's pajama pants.
Oh no, that's my tartan case for my cigar box guitar.
Oh, cool.
So I ordered from a cheaper online printer manuals.
Oh, nice.
And for I don't know, I forgot how much it was. For a nominal fee, they would cut it into quarters. So that saved me a lot of time and effort. Except that when they cut it, and I don't know if you can see this very well. Anyway, when they cut it, they did a lousy job. There's a 3 millimeter difference between the pages.
Lame.
And I'm like, so I called, I contacted them and said, did you do that intentionally? At first they're like, well, the layout of your page. And I'm like, this is the physical cut, not the layout of my page. And they said, oh yeah, we're sorry. I'll have to discuss that with the cutting department. And I'm like, yeah, what are you going to do for me? And I told him, I says, I'm going to use them because I can't wait around. I've got things I got to use. They ended up crediting me 15% off of it and stuff. So that was okay. But I needed to build, next year, if I do this, it's probably not going to have a printed manual. I don't ever want to go there again. Too much work. But I need to have a plan where I've got a built-in buffer for things like the thing I ordered is screwed up. I need to reorder it and send it back and things like that. So I actually learned quite a bit doing this. And oh my God, no wonder why things are so expensive to get done.
Yep.
So, but I am making progress. So
that's the important thing. And you're doing something really cool. You are from scratch making, obviously, not to mention the whole development of the piece of software and all the fun that and pain and suffering and hypercard code that has to go into that, and figure out limitations of, a 35-year-old piece of software. You are, going through and actually producing something physical, which I think is great. So that, I know it's the road less traveled for a reason, and it's expensive, and you're hitting all these walls, but I think that's wonderful. I'm trying to get some junk off the shelf I have in the corner here that I'm pointing at that nobody could see, so I could have a nice shelf of like Macintosh software, and yours, my friend, will be right up there with.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate that, and I learned a lot, and I met the vision that I had, but OMG, I don't want to go through that kind of a deadline again. So there'll be something next year. I don't know what.
So the manual will basically be, you bring me some tractor feed paper and we'll print you a manual while you wait.
Print on demand.
Steve, I need a whole room full of laser writers.
I only got image writers. That's all I can do.
Well, we'll have to just we'll do it with image writers. What?
Yeah. So yeah, and there's other options. I could have done a print on demand service kind of thing. If you wanted to print a manual, you can go out and buy one. There's lots of things I could have done, but thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun putting together, and I'm way behind on supplying these to the people I promised them to. So
we understand that it's a handcrafted approach. I'm sure that everyone is very appreciative and understanding of that, but also it's a first run. You have your physical books for your first run, and that's the allure of it. Now ours are all collectible, and so in 30-40 years, they're going to be on eBay going, I know what I have. This is a first edition. It includes some of his beard hair. I can prove it.
Oh, it does, and blood too.
And DNA, I was going to say.
Yes, DNA's in there. But I didn't even save one for myself.
Oh.
So I got a second edition box that's mine. But
that's awesome.
You could buy mine back at an inflated rate. Some guy got his signature all over it though.
I could reproduce, V1 if I really wanted to.
In tears.
And soaked in tears. They're all soaked in tears, Garth.
That's amazing.
I put some of my tears into it when I stubbed my toe on the sign at the booth, So
yeah. Oh man,
communal tears
was just a whirlwind. I mean, it is every year. But this year it's like, am I going to be able to eat something? And then Ron and Ron's everybody's mom and dad. Ron looks at me about 2:00 in the afternoon and says, I have this half of a sandwich from Kate and I. You would like to bequeath it on you because, dude, you're going to die if you don't eat it.
You're skin and bones. Why don't you eat something? You're wasting away.
Ron comes, he's on the little cart he had with karaoke. Next year, it's going to be a big thing of chili. And he's just going to be like, yeah, here you go.
I would eat his Skyline chili.
Till he trips
if Tom was pushing it around, no. But if Ron's pushing the cart around, yes.
Well, if Tom pushes it around, that pot is full of modems.
Oh,
yeah, it'll be nothing but modems.
Ladle in, you get modem.
That is a genius idea. You get one of those Global Village modems, and I'm putting this out there so someone does it so I don't have to do the work. You get one of those Global Village modems with a little dome on it. It has a very recognizable shape. Mm-hmm. You turn it upside down. You put a flour tortilla in there, and you obviously that modem is now like the case of it. And maybe you have to cast it out of metal. I don't know. But you make that so the upside down tortilla is the shape of the modem. Okay. Yes. And then you put the chili into there. And there you go. You have dial-up chili.
Dial-up.
$5
a thing? Come on. This has to be a VCF Midwest. They're never allowing me in the building again. No. I can see it.
Dial-up chili.
You not only did you make a mess, everyone is farting. The smell was unbearable.
This is maybe a 2-alarm, 2.5 tops.
Am I
Yeah,
going
are
to
you
jail?
going to
You going to
jail?
jail?
We'll see,
I
son.
don't know. I told you I'd make the show worse.
I love how everything devolves into a Simpsons reference.
You know, Kate brought Mackie and had enhancements to Mackie and
Fill him
stuff
with
like
chili.
that.
Oh,
And-
Mackie, come on, man.
And she was able to go around and do stuff and see things. I felt like I was chained to my table the entire time.
I felt the same way, but I think it was also, it's sort of the thing you sign up for. It's
Yeah.
I'm going to exhibit, and I felt a little bad last year because I did take extended times away and like look and explore, and I was haggling with the guy with all the Apple stuff.
Like
Which-
Ron says, you get one of those "Be right back" signs
Oh,
with a
yeah,
clock
yeah.
and just put it on your table.
I
But-
did that, and I only used it once.
Yeah. But the thing is, you don't want to, leave people disappointed, and I would always hear, oh, so and so was looking for you, and I don't know if I
Right.
see that person again. But also, that's
Yeah.
the nature of a show.
Of the show,
It's I know when Sean's first VCF Midwest, he was overwhelmed too. He was never at his table.
Right.
And since our table was kind of close to him, people would ask around, have you seen this guy? I'm like, I don't know where he is. He'd be digging in the free pile, which is good. That's what you do at these shows. You look around, you talk to people, and you make connections no matter if you're at your table or not.
And I think too, we forget sometimes that like we're there for the entire event, but some people just come in for an hour or
Yeah.
Yes.
a couple hours or a day, right? They don't have the luxury of just I'll come back later. So I get that.
I mean, it's impossible to reach everybody.
Yeah.
And I witnessed it with my own eyes when we were leaving for dinner on I think it was Saturday night. Poor Clint was still over at his table talking to the last person in line.
Yeah.
And when I bumped into him Sunday morning, it was the first time I got to say like more than hello to him. And it was one of these things where it's been insane. I mean, he skipped the previous year, so this was the biggest one he's ever been to, but it was a big jump forward. And so I sympathize for everybody who has a recognizable hobby or face or logo or whatever, that it's just a whirlwind. I'm still not recovered from it.
Yeah.
It's been almost a month,
yeah.
and I am still like, huh? Like I just watched the YouTubers panel earlier today, which is great, but why did I watch it now? Because we were at our booths. We
Right.
weren't able to go away for this thing and all this stuff. So it's a blessing and a curse, but I also feel like having a table is sort of like a home base. You put your crap there, but also people could find you if they need you, that sort of thing.
I mean, I suppose if you were really big, you could almost do like 8-Bit Guy does. He brings his wife. So when he's not there, she fills in and vice versa, right?
Yeah, Big Bad Biologist had his better half there, I'll say.
Better 3/4.
Better 3/4.
Well, I thought there would be no math on this program. Come on.
Oh, well, we're going to use American math,
Oh,
which
thank
is
goodness.
whatever you want it to
So
be.
2.5 giraffes. Got it.
Yes.
Yeah, 300% off.
Yeah.
Wait,
what if it's a millimeter longer than it needs to be?
Oh, my brain.
well, and funny thing is that I'm measuring these manuals. I'm using English measurements for the paper, but everything's in millimeters. I'm tired of messing with inches.
Jesse, my wife
Fractions
would tell
are
me,
bad.
hell no, if I brought her to one of these events.
So I actually, my wife has some health issues, but she's offered to come before, and especially if there's this Wisconsin Fiber Festival thing that goes on almost the same weekend, and she's like, "Sure, I'll go. You got to take me to that, though," kind of a thing.
You told me about that event, and all I could picture was a bunch of people eating a lot of bran.
A lot of broccoli. It's
It'll be
all
worse than the chili. My goodness.
Yes.
You clear the
It's
place out, you
explosive.
blow up the building.
But fiber arts, as in
Like
sheep and sheep wool, and
sheep and sheep
spin
related.
the wool into yarn and then make things from yarn.
I get tired just thinking about it. Oh, my goodness.
Like macrame and all of those arts.
Oh God. I have so many flower pots I need to hang from a 1970s ceiling.
Exactly. How else are you going to make those bras?
Right.
and things.
I need that support so
Yes.
badly.
Yes.
The man's ear.
Yes, the bro.
The
Yeah.
man's ear.
But anyway, so she might come to a future event, and that would be nice. And I didn't take advantage of it, but I had several people say, Eric, if you need to take a break or go do something, let me know. I'll come over and watch your table for you. But I
So-
felt obligated to be there.
So next year we get printed out faces of everybody with eye hole cuts. So when
Oh,
you have to
God.
step away from yours, they can just put on a mask of you.
I'm Sean of Action Retro. Give me your money. You know?
Put the lotion on his skin, else it gets the hose again.
yeah.
Sure, I'm whoever. I'll sign whatever you want. Fee is $2 a buck. You know.
I thought you were Action Retro. Why does it say Steve?
Oh yeah, let me fix that for you.
Oh, I'll sign Mac 84 on anything. Just
Yeah,
keep it,
exactly. How do you spell Clint again? LG. Crap.
So, but
Adrian's digital bathroom, a basement.
Close
Yeah.
enough.
bidet.
That's- All right, someone
it runs on
register that right now.
It runs on isopropyl alcohol instead of water.
Ouch!
Ooh, yeah,
So chafing.
Gets it clean though.
yeah, but at what cost?
Well, we had a heating element installed, but that didn't end too well.
84 extra cheese.
Mac 80 lactose intolerant.
Oh God.
Yeah, I didn't go to any of the to eat anything or go anywhere where people are having dinner or anything because of course I was still assembling box sets when I got there.
Yeah.
But so I feel like I missed out on some stuff this last year that
Well, you didn't have did you have a table last year, Eric?
Yeah.
You
I
did.
had a table.
Yeah, because you were right next to me.
You
Yeah.
squeezed
Yeah.
in between Eric and yourself and Joe, or not Eric and Joe. Geez.
Well,
Between
but
Ron
you were
and
selling
Joe.
things, so I think like after a lot of your sales were gone, you were like, okay, I'm done. And
Yeah,
that was it.
I was
Yeah.
able to move around a lot more last year because of that. But even then, there were people that say, "Hey, there was a guy here trying to find you so he could buy this."
Yeah.
Machine. So
Well, that's why I think it's always good, and I especially appreciated this year the way they situated us mostly with each other. So at least we had somebody that we knew, and so it's like, oh, if Ron's going to the bathroom, if Tom has to do this, if you're doing this or whatever, you cover for them. We each have a way to get in contact with each other. Of course, the show is overwhelming and everything, but
I just had visions of Steve looking over at Clint and being like, a whole line of people. Hey, Clint, watch my table while I go eat, please.
he gives me a one finger salute.
yeah.
Like what?
He says, "Who are you again?"
Yeah.
Mac
Oh,
80 what?
you're one of those Mac YouTubers.
I did like the end of, and I did the same thing. I saw the panel, YouTube panel discussion video. I did like the end of it where they were saying, "Who would you like to see?"
Yeah.
And Ron was suggested, and I thought that's excellent. Ron should be up there. He's done so much for the community for so long.
Oh, for sure.
And
And whenever he's been in, like, I've been so happy to have him being we're equal co-hosts on whatever programs that we do at these shows. I'm so happy to have that because it takes so much of the pressure off of you to be like, I'm the only one presenting this, and you sort of no matter how many times you do it, it's always like that part of you that's like, oh my God, you're on stage, freaking out. But
And Ron's really good at crowd work.
Exactly. And when I lost my dongle, which happens to all of us, let's just admit,
they have pills for that now.
last year, I ran off to find it, and he was just beatboxing and doing not that I would pay to see. He
did a little stand-up routine.
He was doing his stand-up routine.
What's the deal with all this conference food?
What's the deal with these phone net adapters?
Yeah. Ron's definitely very good at filling in the gaps and dotting I's and
I'd love to
crossing
see
T's
him
and all that.
on one of those panels. I mean, opinion here. So I never get to watch these YouTuber panels in person. I'm so thankful that they record all of them because one, yes, two, it's great for looking back and all this stuff. But I feel like even though they keep expanding it, it's like the same players every year.
Correct. Yeah.
Now I'm glad like they're including more people on there, but what I would love to see is like the people who are getting into it now that maybe you don't have 1 million subscribers, you got 5,000, you got 1,000, you got 10,000, whatever. What I'd be interested in is seeing the insights from those folks. Like, look, I'm just starting out. This is what worked for me. This is what, because some of the answers in that panel are the existing one is very, very interesting. But when you hear someone like David Murray or someone who has such a subscriber base say, oh yeah, I don't pay attention to the analytics, or me doing videos, releasing them not on the schedule works fine for me. You have a subscriber base. You have such an audience that's already there.
Yeah.
That it's a different problem for somebody who's a smaller channel or someone who's trying to get to a higher number. Like I'm stuck between things right now where it's like, how do I get there? And so I would love to hear. I mean, it's not going to solve everyone's individual problems, but I'd love hearing the insight from other creators who are, I just decided to attack it like this. I just decided to do it like that, because I love hearing the opinion of everybody just to like try and like unravel the mystery that is this stupid YouTube algorithm thing.
Could be a good way too for VCF to like pay it forward, a little bit. So they're saying, here are some up and coming people. Maybe you've never heard of them before. Maybe they're new to the area or to the genre. I'm also going to put a suggestion in because the host is retiring this year. Ron would also make a fantastic host.
He would.
Oh yeah, that's a given. Yeah.
So
then I could dress up as Ron, and then I'll play Ron on stage, and then I'll complain about how I'm not on stage. It'll be great.
We could be mini Ron.
Wait, no, I dress up as Ron. Yeah. Eric, you dress up as me, and just like keeps going. And Ryan will be Eric.
I'll need some shoe polish.
Wasn't that an episode of, was it Family Guy, where they were all one character separated? Yeah, they were pretending to be.
And then it all screws up, and like you're actually Ryan, and Ryan's actually me, and it'll be great.
But then we have to do the Flintstones thing where we have to be at two places at once. We have to be at the lodge meeting and whatever the thing the wife wants, and you have to move between them without getting caught.
Yeah.
I still to this day say Mrs. Doubtfire did that the best. That was.
I mean, I'm just happy to looking at some of the comments here. I'm just happy to see different perspectives from folks that are 100%. Creating content, because there's different challenges no matter where you are, whether you're starting or you have an established base and you're just trying to keep it running. And to me, while it's very interesting to hear from these legends, there's only so many times they could answer similar questions.
Same questions, yeah.
Right.
And I feel too it would be neat if they could curate some of the questions more, if that makes it, like instead of the same questions being asked over again, if maybe I know they take questions from the audience, but even if they had an ability to submit a question so that there was some, for people that couldn't be there or for people that were not going to be in the room but will watch the recording.
I thought this year watching the recording, it was they preloaded it with very interesting questions, and then it was the audience questions, which was I think 2/4 of it. Math. See, I told you math is bad, but it was over 50% of it was like the viewer asked questions,
and a lot of the questions were around they seemed to always fall back to the discussion of what was the August incident, where all the views disappeared.
Oh yeah,
that was.
Well, see, my views are always in the toilet, so it doesn't affect me.
Well, I thought that was the OnlyFans stream.
We don't talk about that anymore.
Sorry.
That's intentionally in the toilet. That's how you get the views. The toilet water is no, never mind. We're going down to it.
And then you sell the toilet water at $250.
Speaking of views, oh my goodness, I can see the live counter here
dropping.
Every time we say toilet.
Maybe it's turlet.
Turlet. Oh, it went up.
See the south light.
Toilet's all the way down.
Funny. But yeah, I was going to say VCF's been about a month now. Have you guys watched any of the other YouTubers? Like, have you watched Clint's video? Have you watched?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I have to go out there and look for scenes of my booth.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing.
When I zoom by it. No, honestly, one of the things I'm really looking forward to is names.
Don't say my stream. Don't say my video. Don't say my.
When is your VCF video coming out?
The alcohol providers. What's his name and his wife?
Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy.
Yeah. I don't think he's doing a video. He's given
No,
the
but he
footage
took
out.
some great footage,
He did,
and
yeah.
high
yes.
res, whatever,
Wonderful.
and all that. And I have an idea for he did 2 pans of, it looked like a lot of booths. And so one's higher up where, it scans across with me shrink wrapping, because that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then one of the booth itself. And I have an idea for using that and some of the other stuff for footage in a classic format that
cool.
I don't want to give away, because I think it's actually a clever idea.
Okay, well,
Because I reinvent the wheel. I never do anything new. I steal material. So
of course.
I'm going to steal a style.
Hamburger earmuffs.
It's not Ken Burns. It'll be something else. So anyway, but
Awesome.
he said that we could use that material, and I'm like, well, thanks. That's awesome, because I got nothing. I didn't take any pictures of my
Isn't
stuff.
that always the thing? You think you mentally, I think, it happens to me all the time. I think I take pictures of things. I didn't even take a picture of Clint's booth or Sean's booth or the Stop Bits booth or Adrian's booth. I didn't. I was, they were just like feet away. I didn't even walk over there when there was a line. I think I said hi to David, and I bought one of his game things before the line went too long. But it's like I didn't stop and take pictures. The line was moving too quick. I had to get back to my booth. So I'm super thankful for folks like Jeremy and others who share their pictures and their footage. I know Jeff Geerling was sharing some pictures and stuff, and said, if you need anything, let me know, because you're behind the booth a lot of the time. And if somebody else has footage, it's not gonna. If you take footage of your own booth, rather, it's not gonna have you in it. So it's like,
well, yeah, it's kind of hard to do.
Speaking of Jeff,
here's
so
me.
Why wasn't he in the panel?
That's I don't know if so I've no idea what goes into the selection.
Right.
I do believe he was sort of a late addition of I'm going to come, but I'm trying to figure out things.
Yeah.
But I mean that's something that would be awesome to have, like another person's perspective of,
and the one person that
everything.
that 8-bit guy suggested is Alex from Technology.
Oh yeah, I would love to see him. I saw
or
the
Alex,
back of his head.
He lives just like literally down the road. So,
Yeah.
Who's that? Alex who?
Technology Connections.
Technology Connections.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
And then they mentioned, and I forget her name. She's Italian.
Yes. I follow her.
One of those young people that are really getting into it, like Connor and some of the other young people that are producing stuff, that it'd be, if we could send her a ticket to come to the event or something, but people like that are
I have to write down all these things.
How you say your name?
Yeah.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, I no speak Italian. So.
You must have your passport.
Yeah, people that are not just young, and they're up and coming YouTubers, but they're young people that are like, oh, you're into this.
Up and coming, 164,000 subscribers.
Well, you know what I mean.
Cheese and crackers.
Yeah, I guess maybe.
How does that make you feel, Steve?
I see. I'm going to go dig my grave next to the shed.
I haven't produced
solve two problems at once.
Yeah, I'm lucky that I haven't lost subscribers. I've been hovering around 590 now for months because I haven't produced anything.
I got one new subscriber that last month, so I'm at 699. I'm like, oh, I'm never going to get past that 700 mark.
Hold on, everyone. We're pausing the show. Log into your alt YouTube accounts. Subscribe to Ryan.
Use up those email addresses.
Yeah, use up. You could have email addresses. Don't cost anything. We could wait. Come on.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
But
clock starts.
But she. When I say up and coming, I guess what I mean is
up and coming bigger star.
Right? Yeah, up and coming bigger, and she's. People like her and, some of the other young people that you don't expect to see doing stuff that didn't exist when they were, rather the other way around. They didn't exist when it came out.
Right.
So
yeah, that's what excites me when I see kids who I'm like, you weren't even around the last time dial-up was popular. Right?
Well, I think that's the only way this hobby lives on.
For sure.
There's obviously diminishing returns with some of this stuff. And I think that what we do and what VCF does and what a lot of people in the community try and do is do what they can to either get information out there, to create a thing, to make something easier, or to preserve something, or just have fun with it, or to, you know, share knowledge of something, or do interviews like some of the great stuff Ron has been doing.
For sure.
Is just to make sure there's something here that we could pass forward to the next generation that picks this up and goes, what is this thing? And I think, you know, there's been such a boom of people doing this hobby that turns into a job that is a YouTube channel or whatever, that there is so much more information about these things, whether it's electronics or computers or video games or books or whatever.
Well,
there is so much more information in one place now about this stuff that somebody starting 5-10 years from now is going to have much easier access to a lot of the information that they hope to do, but also it will compel them to, you know, maybe put 2 and 2 together. Oh, well, this unknown thing or this prototype thing that never got off the ground, let's see why. Maybe we could use some tool to actually do it and collaborate with people and do whatever. You know, you never know. The Spectrogen generation.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
And copyright strike.
Oh, it wasn't that good.
It was kind of like, I don't know if you guys remember, maybe 15, 20 years ago, like probably just when I was finishing high school, there was a huge push, at least here in Canada, to collect the stories of World War II veterans because they were all dying because it was, you know, just a natural course of the.
What did you do to them, Ryan? What did you do?
But I feel like it's, you know, we're almost at that point now. For people that worked on this stuff in the 70s and even the 80s, I mean, they're in their 60s, late 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s, some of them, depending on what time in their life they started on this stuff. So yeah, I think that's actually a really interesting thing to kind of focus on, is getting
and
these
a lot
stories.
Of those folks are very modest. You know, they will never. I met a couple not too far from here. And he had some old Apple and IBM stuff, and he worked as a developer on a few things. And I asked, because I met him through his wife, because she was trying to find some homes for some things. And I, you know, slowly found out that, wow, he has a lot of this stuff. And I said, would you mind if you know, I interviewed him? And she said, I would love for him to share his stories, but he's not the type of person that would do that. If you set him up an interview situation, he clams up. He doesn't want to talk about anything. And that's it. But she said, what I would like you to do is secretly record him. And I'm like, wait, what? And so she was like, don't say you're recording him, but just because she's like, you know, when he's gone, I want these stories to be out there of this, you know, the challenges he had with this software, who he connected with, and this and that. So we haven't done it yet, but it's like one of these things where it's like, you know, set up a Zoom call and don't tell him you're recording. I know it sounds so weird, but it's like his wife is like, just make him do it. He tells me all this stuff and I can't write it down.
Yeah, well, maybe there's a way to do it where she does the recording and she holds on to him until, you know,
exactly.
Time. Yeah.
But it's one of these things where it's funny how, you know, you can have this vision of somebody that, oh, they're so and so and they invented this or they did this process, and they're like, yeah, that was 50 years ago. Or, I mean, some people are great and they'll talk about it forever. Other people are like, who cares?
And I think sometimes they don't see how important their things were, because it's like in their mind, it's like, oh, the iPhone now, that's so new, but that's the new thing. Kids
that was just work, about. You know?
Yeah, right. And not even if it was just work. It was like everything moved so quickly and surpassed it. Nobody cares about it anymore.
Well, right? And the thing, my daughter, who's eldest daughter, is she's about almost 30. Okay, so her thing is the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color and the DS and all that stuff, and game development. She's interested in Japanese culture and she's learning Japanese and all that kind of stuff. But aside from that, what interests her isn't the games and the gameplay and stuff like that. It's how it got there. Why did someone decide to build it this way? Right. And what were they dealing with at the time that made them decide to go that direction with it? And I said, well, you're talking about the archaeology of, you know, development. And I told her about I can't say it. Folklore.org, whatever it is, for Apple, where they have all these stories about, you know, Steve Jobs beat me up because he didn't want square corners on his window, screens and stuff. That's what she's interested in. And I said, there are people out there in academia or whatever that are doing this kind of work.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to go out and network and try to find it. And I said, you could end up changing careers and going that route if you wanted to. And she's like, Dad, I just want to work my 40 hours a week and play. Okay. I'm like, sorry.
But if you do something you love, you're not working for 40 hours.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, there are people. Ron's doing a great job with these interviews of extracting some of this information from people. And, but we need more of it, whether it's blogging, this is the history of how this happened. You've got some of the stuff from Bill Atkinson about how he decided to do HyperCard. There's some interviews and things out there, but he's gone now.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and like I kick myself thinking back about it. The inventor of the mouse ended up retiring in Newfoundland and lived here for almost 40 years.
You had no idea.
And I had no idea until he passed away. Well, we kind of knew he was here. He was a bit of a recluse.
Yeah.
And he only lived literally, I don't know, maybe a street or two over from the school that I work at.
Oh, jeez.
But he ended up passing away. And thinking back, it's like if I had known, I should have made the effort, even if he was a recluse, just to say, even if he said no, just to say, well, I tried, right?
Yeah.
So
well, that's the thing. You nothing ventured, nothing gained.
The worst they're going to say is no.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you don't ask.
Yeah.
Now, if you hunt them down and for weeks on end try to convince them to talk to you, well, that's different. That's stalking. But,
Mr. Mac 84, Mr. Mac 84, why won't you take my broken printers?
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, and like there's this guy, I've told the story before. He works for CBC for years, which is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
He invented this piece of technology for monitoring the radio systems that never got adopted, but he developed it on the SIM2 or SIM1 boards. Developed his own software for it. Like, it was very ingenious, and nobody knew about it until he told me about it when I was in his basement picking up some old computer stuff. It's like, other than that whole story is dead. So I'm like, I really need to record this guy. And anyway, CBC
hopefully you don't have to do it secretly. Like
some
people, significant others suggest.
I think he'll be very open about it.
And to make it even a more personal connection, if you have elder, relatives that, maybe you were a young kid and you were bored by the stories, go visit them. Yeah. And, because you're never going to have that opportunity again. And you never know. Somebody could have had this wonderful adventure in their 20s and they've never really talked about it.
Yeah.
So.
If like my father, he's passed now, it'll be 3 years this November, and I think about all the stories that he's told me, and I try to remember them because they're not recorded, but I try to remember. I try to tell them to my nieces. I try to tell them to people that I know, so that the little piece of him keeps existing, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we did with my grandmother. We set up. Sometimes it was just audio. We just set up the voice memos on the iPhone or whatever, but sometimes it was set up a camcorder or just a phone. And we'd talk about family history or lineage or, whatever. And just like, there's a few hours of that stuff. And when I, when I had, I think it was the iPhone 4, whatever the first one with the voice memos one that I owned, maybe it was the 3G or whatever. I would do that when I talked to my grandparents about, old movies or photographs or whatever. And I have all of them. They're not organized. They have a label that says, the location of where it was, because that's how the iPhone were organized at the time. So it says, this street or this town or whatever. And it's like, now there's all these transcription things. You could go and dig through them. But that's a piece of thing that's like, oh, not only is it super personal to me, but, my family and from historical significance too of, especially if both of my grandfathers were in World War II, and all this stuff. And there's these things that you could, never have the chance to ask these questions again once this person is no longer here. So, especially from a level of, we're all interested in these things. Sometimes you don't know that the interesting thing is sitting right in front of you the whole time. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I would also say, going back to our hobby, from a pure like making it easier on yourself. I think of like Joe with the Spectrogen. He's had to reverse engineer everything because there's nobody around who remembers how it was programmed in the first place, or if they do, it's not relatively available. So if we are able to save this information while the people are still alive, it'll make it easier in the future for people to, prolong our hobby, or to, find interesting things that they can do with certain things that we never even thought about. So.
Yeah, what I think was interesting is one of the questions at the VCF panel was, if there was one thing you could recreate today or whatever, what would it be? First thing in my mind was like, oh, like a beautiful CRT monitor or whatever. But it made me think that yes, technically on a manufacturing level you could recreate that, but the knowledge and the understanding of the do's and don'ts and the years of manufacturing expertise and all this stuff, that's locked away, or those people are long gone. That is nothing you're going to come out of thin air.
You're not going to get the technical expertise of Sony to reproduce a Trinitron equivalent.
Yeah,
today.
like making your own floppy disk.
Right.
Who was that guy? It's been a couple of years. I don't remember who he is, and I haven't heard from him in a while. He was relearning from an old book how to make PCBs from scratch, and had some references. Like there were some people that were older. It says, "Yeah, back in the day, we did it this way," kind of stories. And I've lost track of him, but he was doing the same thing where he's like, I'm going to make them in my bathtub like they did in the 70s, and, try to nail down that manufacturing process. CRTs are the same way. I've seen videos of people that make vacuum tubes, and the same person, I made my own CRT. It was just the round flattened bottom bulb thing, that you would see from the 20s. But I'm like, more props to you, man. I wouldn't know the first thing about blowing glass for that kind of stuff.
Well, and not to mention the the danger and the stuff that you have to go with that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
The chemicals they don't make anymore for a good reason.
for obvious reasons. That's true. But yeah, like I sent Joe a bunch of stuff. The guy that I got from CBC, he would hand make the PCBs. He would hand design the PCBs with stickers. So you could used to be able to buy these packs of stickers for like, this is a certain type of trace, and this is a diode, and this is and you would lay it out on a sheet of paper, and you would send that to the manufacturing. Wow. Like, so it's kind of like TiCAD, but it's on paper.
Mechanical drafting on
it's like
paper.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like drawing all your stuff out for blueprints, but
programming. It used to be the programmer was the person that was translating the algorithm that was handed to him on paper into code. And then the coder was the person punching the cards.
Right.
Kind of a thing. And there was that chain of being that went on with it.
Well, I remember there's that picture of, I can't remember her name. She was one of the ladies who programmed for the Apollo mission, but
yes,
punch cards were, taller, twice the height of her.
I love that picture.
Yeah. And it was like 200,000 lines of code or something that was created for the first space mission.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, was that archived? Does that exist anywhere?
It might, actually.
It might be in the Library of Congress, maybe.
Well, and there's I forget his name, the guy that's resurrected all the communications equipment for the Apollo mission.
That's right. Yeah.
And all the, in his I think he's in college, or he works for a university or something. So he's got lab assistants that can come in and learn how to do that stuff. So.
But we talk about like forgotten things. Is if this stuff is not archived, you look at just going back to the past, making Damascus steel. Like we kind of know how to do that now, but for several centuries, maybe even a millennium, I'm going to say it was lost.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and we never really got back to making it exactly like it was made back in the day because the whole process was lost.
Yeah.
So there's lots of examples of that, and I'd hate to see that happen in our community.
Well, I think we have a good amount of people who are interested in this stuff, who are passionate about it. And if we all do our job to promote it and not gatekeep these things,
That's the key.
that we will make sure that it continues to thrive, because you never know how someone's going to get into it. It could be via hardware hacking, it could be via a web emulator about a thing. Once someone gets hooked into it, they're going to learn more, and all we could do is help welcome that next generation and be like, hey, you want a box full of old doodads? How about a shed of old printers? Here you go. Just help encourage them one way or another.
Steve's slightly warm in the grave, and his wife is like, printers? Who wants printers?
Who wants printers? Touched by Mac 84. Here's some of his hair and saliva on each one.
Make it into like a relic from the Catholic Church. It's like,
Yes.
There's one of my hands that is sticking out of the coffin, and it just it's just gracing every piece of paper. It's, oh no, he hand signed this. Oh no, he hand signed. The skin's flaking off. There's a bone exposed.
Ooh, this one came with real Steve.
Real Steve on it.
Delicious.
The DNA of Steve.
I knew it. It tastes like an onion.
Needs more garlic.
You're talking about this, and I'm staring at a box I picked up from VCF that's full of AUX manuals.
Ooh.
And I'm like, I'm gonna have to scan these now. I have an obligation.
I will help you determine which ones are.
Well, I might bring the box to VCF and hand it to you next year.
Oh God.
Speaking of that, Steve, how did you make out? I remember because last year that guy came who had like an Apple store.
Oh yeah.
Did you get through all the stuff after that you got from him?
I did a stream where I was basically going through the bins and showing off what I had. Which,
I remember that.
Pro tip: I mainly did that for my benefit, so I could easily look through them without going downstairs and digging out the bin.
Roll through it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I have started scanning some of those things. Have started archiving some of the floppies. Usually I will go do the discs first because they're the least troublesome to do. And that's why all over my desk there are these little things of discs and floppies, and just like there's so much of just like project light bulb. It's just everything. Yeah. So I am trying to make a dent in that.
Cool.
If the shed situation was a bit better, I'd have more room to do that. But
any cool finds, like anything that you were like, oh, I didn't even realize that was in there, or this is amazing?
Yeah, there were some things that were like tucked away in another piece of paper and things like that. So those are always fun because with the insanity of the show, you don't want to inconvenience yourself or the guy or take up too much of anyone's time. So It's like, oh, here's the money, here's the thing, let me take this. So I had a good idea about like what 80% of the stuff was in there, but some of the bins, it was like, oh, this bin is all manuals, and I didn't look through every manual, but I would love to get a better mechanism for doing book scans. The crummy thing I have is passable, I guess, in some respects.
So
but
I'm of the mindset, and I mean, archivists are probably going to yell at me for this. I think if you need to archive something because it doesn't exist, it's okay to destroy the thing to archive it.
Yeah, but I'm also one of those people who's like, oh no, it's slightly bent. I will need to shoot this in a video one day, and it won't be pristine. Yeah. That's my brain disease.
Fair enough. I've cut that many spines out of books with table saw just to get.
Knife goes in, book comes out.
Yeah. I'm from the pre-digital generation, and us old folks, like it's just anathema to destroy something like that. We just can't do it. So I've been looking into do-it-yourself rigs for books
with like a DSLR in it.
Yeah.
Honestly, the today's smartphones, compared to that little camera I have in that stand thing, I was scanning. My wife had this little sized, like a comic book type thing she got from Japan, and she found a community online of people who were interested in. And she's like, "Oh, if I'm like at scan, it's like, well, I could try. It's not going to come out the best, but it'd be something, So it's like one of those things that, like, hopefully, it gets a copy of it and does an okay job. But as I was doing it, I held up my phone and took a picture. I'm like, that's not half bad. So if you had a holder or something, and Dave is teasing us about some cool thing that maybe we could talk about offline.
The software to go with it is the critical thing.
Yeah, and you just need a monkey pushing a button, and then you feed the monkey, and then you need a friend for the monkey, and then it's all you need a zoo and
so keepers. I have a bunch of Fujitsu scan snaps. That's what I use a lot. They're fantastic scanners, but the ones I have are not the book one. And the book one, you actually still have to manually turn the page. But if you cut the spine out, take the covers off. You can just jam it in the auto feeder, hit scan, and it's done.
Yeah, have a cup of coffee and you're good to go.
Yeah, you're good to go. So, I don't feel so bad destroying things, especially, and I know it's going to sound, if there's only one copy of it left in the world,
I think
I'd rather
it's
share it with everybody than.
Yeah,
I think it depends on what it is.
Yeah,
if it's
sure.
a Declaration of
If
Independence,
it's a Gutenberg
that's
Bible,
different.
maybe not.
Yeah. I just cut this up I cut the pages in half so I could scan it faster.
Stupid monks and all their ink. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
I had to scrape this illumination off just so I could get a clear picture.
Oh,
Kept reflecting. Is this gold leaf? Who puts gold leaf on a book?
I'll throw this all out afterwards. Who cares?
This vellum burns surprisingly well.
This episode is brought to you by book burning.
The new American pastime.
Yes, it's now one of the favorite raids
back.
in the U.S.
Have you ever wanted to be 1930s Germany?
No,
I have good news for you.
I got a question. Are we the baddies?
Yes.
What's that, Ron? It's time to go. Oh, shut up.
I want to play that clip from Indiana Jones. Nazis. I hate those guys.
Oh my goodness! If anybody is not played the Indiana Jones video game that has come out,
Is it good? I've been
it is
kind of holding off.
it is a fascist punching good time.
Oh, good. I recently replayed Wolfenstein for that particular.
Oh,
reason.
nice.
Yeah.
It is a very fun game. Won't spoil anything. They did a fantastic job, and if you have the ability to play it, unfortunately my PC was way too underpowered to play it.
That's my concern.
But if you have a games console or something like that, you're welcome to enjoy it. And yes, I will try and be there.
Excellent. Are you going to unload things or pick things up?
Things are going on the free pile that I don't want to see in my house anymore. Yes.
I didn't even make it to the free pile to drop off.
How was the free pile
VCF?
this time around? Because last year it was I was a little underwhelmed.
There was a lot of things. I didn't see a lot, but I saw pictures of things. I was like, oh, if I only see
Same here. But I brought some stuff to get rid of. I had like that little Sony Trinitron television where the power supply died on it, and I'm like, I'm not messing with this. I didn't even make it to the table to drop stuff off. I went by the guy that had all the really old tech that was along that lane towards the end of the pile. And he's like, what you got? So he took everything off my cart that I was going to get rid of.
That's funny. Was that the guy that had like the television with the 3 different tubes that were mirrored?
That was amazing.
That was very cool.
I didn't really notice much, but he had a lot of stuff, and it was on a really long table, and he had bled over into the aisle, sort of like the guy from Apple,
right?
With the Apple dealership. So
was he there this year?
No, he was not.
No.
I reached out to that individual via email shortly after the last show. They responded. I responded again because I just want to do an introduction. I'm like, hey, this is who I am, blah blah blah. I then reached out again, being like, oh, if you haven't put all your stuff away, I'm looking for these 2 pieces that I should have bought at the show, kicking myself for not. Let me know if you're interested in selling them, blah blah blah. Haven't heard back. Emailed again after that, and emailed just before the show this year. Did not hear anything back.
So possibly no longer with us.
I mean, who knows?
Think he was trying to get out of dealing with it,
But I also know he was from out of state, so it was not one of those things where it was relatively close to them.
Right.
But also, life happens. I could totally understand, like, oh, there's this email from this guy. I do this all the time. I will read the message and I will mentally check that off, like, okay, I read it, but I won't respond to it.
That's why most email now has a little pin icon. I will read something, I will hit the pin, and I'm like, that is future Ryan's problem.
You do not want to know how many unread messages I have in my email address. Let's open this up here. Today it is 21,548.
Steve does not follow these inbox zero policy.
Nope. I did once, and then there was some syncing issue, and the number shot way back up. And I'm like, well, that's the end of that.
Yeah, if I do not put something on the calendar, put it on a list that I remember the list, or it doesn't happen. So, for example, I had a lot of people that I owe boxes of the game to for contributing, like Steve, and stuff like that. And some of them I was able to get boxes to at VCF, and others I didn't. And I didn't take notes.
Oh, I got mine. So
I know, yeah. And I know that, and Tom, of course, made it more difficult, which is fine. But he says, "I'll take the box without the manuals. Make sure you mail me the manuals." So I had to. I have notes now for that.
What you do is you mail him a PDF and say it's the Assemble It Yourself manual, special edition,
and include any modems in the box that you want to get rid of.
Yeah.
I'll send them
It'll
a
be
floppy
totally
disk and say, "Print this."
Print this, and it's saved in like Mac Write 2 format.
And it's on an 8-inch floppy.
Yeah, you have to make it hard for him. Come on, it's
Yeah.
Tom we're talking about. You have to send it over Global Talk.
He did me a solid because I was running out of everything at that point. He's like, "Just give me what you got and send the rest later."
Yes, fax the manuals.
Fax the manuals to him. I'll wait for Global Talk and I'll send it to his printer.
Oh, that's a good idea. Is there any way for us to set up like email on Global Talk?
There is a chat stack that people have.
Yeah, but I mean like an actual like inbox outbox.
I don't know.
And then have like Global Talk addresses.
I'm sure you could, and you could waste everyone's toner in the world. But
yeah, it's a good idea.
Very bad idea.
I think the printer thing is gotten a little maybe over the top.
Was it Gut Bomb? Somebody set up one that was just a PDF printer, so whatever was sent to them just got saved as a PDF.
That's honestly, I had my printer here and it was sitting up and it was printing out things. Where it lost its charm was where the one person who didn't even have a printer was printing out a newsletter that was like 10, 15 pages long.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even formatted right. So it was all, the font was all weird and stuff. And one of the rules we have with that whole event is just be mindful. A page or two is fun, tends a crowd.
Yeah.
So, and I enjoyed receiving messages from everybody else. I did not enjoy the previous year where I was unavailable. And my image writer was, half of me, this is stupid, my fault. My image writer was sitting there. Someone sent a simple text thing. It bombed, and 67 pages later, poor printer.
And to be fair,
Steve, you angered.
Yeah.
Oh,
to
no.
be fair,
No.
It was, I appreciated his enthusiasm and the participation and the energy and everything. But at the same time, it's like, I'm turning my printer off.
Oh, no, but that's the thing. It gives you that reaction, gives others that reaction. So it's one of those things where you just have to be mindful of it and just don't use simple text and be aware that, a page or two is enough. And I will gladly set up my image writer again once it's recapped, which is never, and we'll go from there. It has a image scribbler in there. So
I plugged in 4 printers and 4 of them let out the magic smoke, which is on par because the previous year I plugged in 4 separate Macintoshes and they all let out the magic smoke. So what am I going to blow up this year?
Great track record you got there, Ryan.
Oh, Steve, it is possible to get rid of printers. I gave an image writer 2 to someone today.
It's Steve.
Yeah, it's me.
No, actually, someone from the local group that I've found
great.
The last year was like, I could use a printer. I'm like, I got 3. When do you want it?
Which one do you want?
So I even revived a new old stock ribbon for it. So they didn't have tractor feed paper. I'm like, here's some paper.
What more could you take out of my garage?
Yeah.
What was I going to say? What is the holy grail for laser or for image writers? Is there I
don't think there's a holy grail, but I think that color ribbons for a while were an unobtainium thing, and thankfully we have amazing people like Mark of Mac Effects who is willing to put out time, money, sweat, blood, and tears to create these things that idiots like us would be like, oh, it's the thing, So that was, I think, for the longest time the big thing. But I think now it's, I don't know. Especially the more I collect this weird crap, the more I'm like, oh, there was a weird envelope accessory. I've never printed to an envelope, but now I must have it.
But now I can.
A sheet feeder for an image writer 2 is something I wouldn't mind having.
I would love one that works. I have one.
Well, that's the problem. It didn't work well when it was created.
Maybe we could reverse engineer it because there is that little board that connects into it to make that work.
Steve has an image writer.
I have 2. Maybe
I have 3 PlayStation 3s.
That was the cruelest scenario of I paid good money for an image writer LQ, and then one showed up dirt cheap with the envelope adapter and all this stuff, and I'm like, ah, damn it.
I want a print head cleaning tool and guide. Speaking of which, not just the print head cleaning thing, we do need that. Steve and
Many other folks.
Who?
Many other folks.
And many others.
Some don't want to be publicly named.
I just went through that manual today because I finally downloaded it. Oh my God. I wish I had that a year ago when I was trying to diagnose an SE30. What do you call it? CZMAC?
Yeah, SEMA,
SEMA
stripes or whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm confused. Is there a new manual? Did I miss something?
Yeah, I'll screen share. Give me a second.
It's a 112 page of diagnostic love.
We're going to go through every page here.
And then we're going to talk about rice. But no, it's exactly the level of tech information that I need to help me make the next level up.
The whole screen.
Show the scans of the oscilloscope, one of those pages.
So just to give some clarity, it's on Tinker Different. It's 100% for free. It's a PDF. This is the beta initial release. It's not finalized yet. There are some things that are clearly marked work in progress, but there's a little key legend thing there to tell you about that. Whenever there's going to be a new version, it'll be posted up here. But let me click on this and open up the PDF.
I found a typo today.
Yeah, I found a typo too.
We have a request. The audio version of this manual has to be read by John, a big bad biologist.
And midway through, John just goes, the heck with this.
All right. Macintosh SE30.
But which page did you want to see, Eric?
There was some of the pages you have the oscilloscope trace.
Oh, yes.
The chip signals. And my next level that I want to get to, beyond recapping and tracing out bad traces, is to understand where to look and what to diagnose when it comes to, is this chip bad? Is it getting this signal between here and there? And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, this is exactly what I need so I can learn this stuff. Not just diagnose a problem, but learn it.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's what I think is so powerful about all of us in a community being so interested in this, that, or the other thing, is we all know little bits and pieces, but when we're together, we can collectively solve a problem. And that's how this guide came together, is a number of us on the Tinker Different community have, there have been recreations of the SE30 board. There's this, that, and the other thing. But one individual started this and really got, I'd say, a good chunk of it done. And at the point they said, I don't have the time to work on this anymore. I want to, I want this to get released, but it's been a lot of work. So a few of us, took the reins of like, okay, well, we'll release this as a group thing. Do you mind if we do this, that, and the other thing? No, go for it. Add this, add that. But it is one of these things where it started out as just for the SEMA, the vertical and horizontal bars you see. But it expanded a little bit to include some things that are just basic knowledge that you want to, sorry, I can't see the scroll bar on my system. Basic knowledge about troubleshooting, about recommended tools. We have the lovely SE Combo Mac Pico vid here from Ron listed as a recommended tool. Just, simple things as using an ATX cable to extend the board out of the chassis. Things about broken traces, and we link to Bruce's videos. I think there's even one of my videos in here. So, there is sort of a fine line between like just solving the problem of this and going broader, but I think it does benefit if you go a little bit out of the traveled road here to explain some of that stuff for beginners.
Does it have a section about how you have to balance the board in such a way that it makes it boot properly, but only if you hold it in a certain way?
There is a section that does tell you, does flexing the board fix the problem? We thought of that.
Did you ever get that fixed after? I remember watching that live stream and being in stitches, watching you try to make that thing.
That was Dan of the Canadian Computer Collector. That was
Okay.
his SE30 board, and at the end of that
It
stream,
makes so much more
worked,
sense now.
but afterwards, it's now back to some other problem, and is one of these. The bane of my existence is these SE30s that work and then they don't. So it's
I thought it was going to be the 840 AVs, but okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's the
included.
next edition.
No. I will say
No, it's a really short one pager. Throw it away.
give it to Steve.
Don't even bother.
I will say that I've been the newest editor on this, but I do want to stress that there have been so many talented people who have, put their time and effort into it, whether it was sending a screenshot. Adrian Black here did a very brief write-up, which I do have to touch up because there were some typos. This was from a text message chain, of just like the boot up process according to, some information that he was dealing with all the diagnostics thing he did recently. And there's just so many people that contributed to this. So I just can't thank them enough for allowing me to help release this. And it was just one of those things where it's been on the back burner for almost 5 years. And it was one of those things that I wanted to get done and get out. And this happened, I think it was Wednesday night. I just unplugged my laptop from the charger and I accidentally opened something in Pages. And when I went to close it, I went to the file menu by mistake to close it because I'm thinking it's an old Macintosh. And it said recent. And this was one of the recent files. I said, oh, you know what? Let me look at that again. And from about 10:30 p.m. to, I will not say the time publicly, but you could read it at the top of this of sometime in the morning. I was polishing and editing this thinking, okay, I'll get it to a good enough spot. And I said, you know what? Let's just put it out there.
You get to the point where you call it the 80%. 80% is good enough. You'll never get to the 100.
Yeah, and perfect is the enemy of good. You have to start somewhere.
And now you've got a crowd of people that'll point out, oh, I think this is supposed to be this word, not that word.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And that's great. And there's already been some comments of like, because there's some tools in there that are quite expensive that are suggested, but we'll put in some affordable tools and other options and alternative things. And this is, go to that thread if you have a comment, if you'd like to see something added to this. We can't put everything in this, but it's something that will be community shaped, depending on what it is. And if you like something like this, maybe we could do something that's similar for another system, or an offshoot or whatever.
And I was going to ask what you actually made it in because it's very beautiful, and obviously it was Pages.
Yeah, it was Apple Pages, and I did not, create the first version of this, so it was passed along to me in that regard, and it did break myself a little bit because Pages has a great little slideshow feature where you could have like 20 images. And you'll see where I'm going with this. You have 20 images or 16 images because some of these chips are 16 pins, and you can just click the next button. It does a beautiful little slideshow. Well, that doesn't work as a PDF.
No.
So you have to copy and paste each one, and then you have to make sure each image is the right size and the same thing, and you didn't mix them up. And because this is a source material thing, I don't know an oscilloscope wave from one chip to the other unless somebody tells me it is, so it's piecing all those things together and trying to get that in a good spot. So
that's awesome.
I think a PDF was a good shot, a good option. If there was a web export option, I would have also done that, but dealing with the limitation of what it is. But thank you for the kind words.
It's definitely beautiful.
Well done.
And my next SE30 that I get, if I get one, that's not working, I'll be able to take a stab at doing it myself instead of, I mean, I really appreciate all the help that I got getting the first one I got back up and running.
See,
but I didn't learn a lot from it.
The guide is a self-fulfilling thing for Steve. See, he'll just tell people send him emails now, and he's like, I need help with this. He'll be just go look at the guide.
That's it. It knows more than I do. Brain no work no more.
Yeah.
RTFM.
There's a post-it note on my forehead in my coffin. Go to tinkerdifferent.com.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a WordPerfect 5.0 version?
You know what? For the right amount of money, sure. Honey, I paid off the mortgage. You'll never guess how. Distributed on floppies at the next VCF.
What was that tool from DOS days for dividing up. You could put
Oh yeah,
your thing on 15,000 floppies or something.
Yeah, you can break it across a bunch of floppies.
Yeah.
back it up into like a 40 megabyte tape cartridge and make it unusable for everybody.
Cassette, VHS, back it up on VHS.
I have this on Betamax.
We use
My
clay
goodness.
tablets to impress them. You have to use like a stylus to read them.
Read the
Oh
data,
goodness.
and it's just 4 hours of Steve
Edson
yelling.
cylinders.
It's just you put this on a record player, it's just 4 hours of Steve yelling.
At least I won't put it on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the deluxe version is me cursing at every trace that I put in incorrectly.
So what we're getting kind of winding down here. Any new upcoming things you want to talk about, Steve? I completely forgot your video for your father-in-law. That was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
It's very, very nice.
You're one of the 10 people who watched it. I appreciate it.
It was
Have you
very,
done a
very
new
good.
one?
No, I did one. What was it? Earlier this week? I
Wednesday?
released?
I feel like
Wednesday, yeah.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay.
That was a productive day. My goodness.
I remember the one from a couple of years ago. that you did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the one I did with my dad. Yeah. So this video, very briefly, you can watch it on the channel. I just modified a remote control, and I figured out how to make it work with the big button on the top. So my father-in-law, who has mobility issues with his and gripping issues with his
cool.
hands and stuff, so he just literally, it's a keyboard switch. He could just put his hand or his palm or whatever on it, and it's a voice control remote. So you could just do that and say change a channel or whatever.
All I could picture was mash the keyboard for your dialing
your
wand.
phone, yeah. To obtain a special dialing wand. So that was one of the things that when I went over and asked,
Cool.
you always go over your in-laws or whatever. Oh, what can I do? What I can help with? And that was one of the things.
To kind of build on that, it's amazing when you're able-bodied, you don't.
Oh, of course.
The world
I think
is,
about
is
that
made
every
for
day.
you, right? Like
I think about that every day because unfortunately he's in a wheelchair. I'm very glad it's a motorized chair, so he has that level of independence that some people do not have. And he's a great individual, and it's great to talk to him. And he's he has his wits about him, which is fantastic. But it's the simple things of like I can't solve that, but I could solve you using the remote control, and that's one of the things that I was like, well, I hope this works, and I was super happy. I didn't get to see it when I dropped it when it was dropped off. My wife dropped it off, but I'm super happy it works, and you could watch the video to see how I did it, and hopefully that'll inspire someone to do something cool like that. So
the hacker space for disability related stuff seems to be growing more.
I hope it does. When I was looking at those options to make this accessible, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't the only option, but there were like these quote unquote accessibility buttons, and they're like $50-$60. I'm like, it's a button.
It's literally one of those that was easy, like
Exactly.
Staples buttons.
Yeah. And I understand they're probably guaranteed and they're tested or whatever, or they fit into a certain jack or whatever. But for my purpose, I got a $10 pack from Amazon of 10 keyboard switches and probably $1 worth of 3D printed plastic, if that.
Right.
So,
My wife recently had neck fusion surgery, and she had to have a walker. She uses a cane now, but she had to have this walker. And even something as simple as it didn't have skids on the walker for our carpet, and it was dragging on it, and I was afraid A, she was going to trip, and B, that was suboptimal. And I'm like, I got a 3D printer, so I made discs to go on the bottom of it, and
that's great.
We had to do a couple of prototypes to get it right and stuff, and I was like, oh, this felt good. I did something that was useful, and she likes it, and well,
it's like all the people who are now, I think they call it biohacking, but they're like for insulin pumps. They're making their own insulin pumps because the ones that you buy are proprietary and they're locked down and they're subscription based. Now some of them are, and it's like just. No.
And they go out of, they won't repair after a certain point. You can't replace it. It's like, no, we need another $50,000 to put another one on.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool to see that kind of some of that stuff. And like, I know a lot of like prosthetic people are into the 3D printing
Oh,
now, and
sure.
they're doing a lot more in-house stuff instead of sending it away to specialty shops where it costs tens of thousands of dollars. You can quickly prototype stuff on a 3D printer, test it, and then if it works, yeah, maybe then send it to be milled in aluminum or milled in, steel or whatever. But
there was a guy recently, I heard a story about, who had an external skeleton, like just to boost the power so he could walk on his own.
Yeah.
And the company went out of business, and that was it.
Yep.
He couldn't do anything with it. And I think he ended up having to do a lawsuit or something to be able to get a right to repair for his own stuff, because he needed some firmware or something like that to be able to do anything with it.
And that kind of brings us into a whole little side discussion. As much as people don't like him, Louis Rossmann is doing a lot of very good things. As sort of crazy as he can be and as abrasive as he can be.
Wait, internet personality crazy? Now you're
New
yanking
York,
my chain.
New York internet personality.
Hey,
abrasive.
what's the matter, you?
But his stuff that he's doing with his foundation to help, call out these companies that do sketchy, questionable things, not just for right to repair, but just some of the legalese that are in agreements now that you're not only allowed to arbitrate, you're not allowed to sue. Right?
You sign away your firstborn if you accidentally.
Well, the
click on this
craziest
button,
one, the craziest.
Hey, they put them through college.
My kids through college. The craziest one that I saw, or that Lewis told the story of, was this guy. His wife was eating at a Disney-themed restaurant.
Oh yes, I heard of this one.
And it told them they had an allergy, and they didn't do their due diligence or whatever. And they somehow what she was allergic to got into the food. I'm assuming it was nut. And she ended up having anaphylactic shock and dying. And because he had a subscription to Disney Plus 5 years previous, he had agreed to arbitration instead of being able to sue. And I'm like, that's crazy.
Wonderful world we live in.
They got shamed into dealing with it,
which is good. I think people often understand the power that they have, for lack of a better term. And when things and unfortunately it has to happen a lot of times these days, when a ton of people, a metric ton of people, say, hey, or that's 3 giraffes of people, say, hey, we no longer approve of this, or we want to, you're doing a bad job with this. Unfortunately, that's the way to get attention. But
so fun little side note, I believe the statistic number is 1.3% of the population needs to protest in person to have things change. Just a suggestion.
Well, I want to end on a positive note, because you mentioned prosthetics and things like that. This YouTube channel, if you have not watched it, I could highly recommend. I'm going to put it on my screen for a moment here, if it allows me to. I have to click the button again. Buttons. So this person's name is Ian Davis, and he built his own prosthetic hand, kind of, his 4 fingers. But as you can see from the thumbnail,
so
he's
a Simpsons character.
Yeah, he only has still attached to him his thumb from his left hand, and I think a finger or so. And he builds his own mechanical appendages, and he talks about improving them and all this stuff. So I think it's really neat. I've been inspired by a lot of what he does. There's a lot of little shorts if you don't want to watch the whole thing, but he talks about the technical side of things. Some of the legal struggles he's had of, like, I want to sell this, or I want to share this, and I can't because XYZ. But fascinating individual. One of these people that they start talking about a subject they're passionate about, they light up, and it's very easy to spend hours watching.
So I'm going to make a suggestion. This would be a fantastic talk for something like VCF.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's tech adjacent.
like the guy with the assistive stuff for blogging.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Because it's tech adjacent. A lot of the tools and a lot of things that he's using obviously would translate very well to some of the stuff that we're doing. And, it also highlights some areas of society that maybe we don't necessarily always see.
And who doesn't want to make their own power glove?
Who doesn't want to make their own Cyberdyne Systems Terminator arm?
Okay.
Oh, no, I gripped the image writer too hard, and now it's crumpling.
Oh no, it's got to come home with us. What a shame.
It's attached.
Allison, it's attached. I can't let go. It's got to come home.
It
It
looks
followed
sad.
me home.
Steve,
Can I
cut your
keep
arm
it?
off.
It's fused at the molecular level.
Oh, good times, good times. Well, this was actually a lot of fun tonight, guys. Thank you.
Just
thank
10 more minutes and we could break the 2 out. No.
And now for something completely different.
Get your leader hose now. Come on. We practiced this.
And a 1 and a 2 and a polka, polka, polka. It was only really popular in the Midwest.
Polka, polka, polka. Oh, I like what Eric's doing.
Ow.
Ow.
I'm not flexible like that anymore.
Well, thank
they
you
have-
for having
they
me
have
on.
pills
I
for that
appreciate
now, Eric.
I'm sorry, what?
They have pills for that now.
Mm.
If you're not so
Shake
flexible.
shake the mac and cheese again. Those are the pills.
Can I ask why you have a container of mac and cheese on your desk?
I don't know.
It just showed up.
Probably
Why
it
is the
was
light
on-
bulb here? We
It
don't
was on
know.
its way somewhere else and it stayed here.
How many Steves does it take to replace a light bulb?
20.
2 Rossmans.
2 Rossmans.
You should do some Louis Rossman mimicking shorts, Steve. I'd like to see that. Angry at laser or image writers for no reason.
We'll see. We'll see.
You could
Well-
critique a cat's ability to mouse or something.
Yeah. I guess the most important question we haven't asked Steve this evening. So thank you for Steve being here. How are the rabbits?
Oh, we just have the one.
Sure.
But
How is
Pippin
the
is doing great.
Yes,
fine.
he's doing well.
very fuzzy. He needs a trim, but he is a very fuzzy boy.
Do
He's a good
do
boy.
rabbits shed like do they have like a winter coat and a summer coat?
Yeah,
They
they do their molts. But
Okay.
this is the first rabbit we've had that wasn't a short hair rabbit, so he needs more trimming than usual,
Ah.
and he looks a bit silly at the moment. But
So, are there rabbit grooms people?
oh
that
sure, I
will-
mean a lot of pet places will do it. The thing is their skin is very thin and all this stuff, so there's
Don't
some
nick us.
precautions. But thankfully, I know people from rescuing them and everything who do that on the side. So
You
there's a
just,
person that's not too far away. We bring them to. So
just have
Oh,
visions of Steve going to pick up his rabbit. It looks like a poodle. It's got a poodle cut.
thing has more hair than I do. Come on, you should just come with like the rabbit's hair on my head.
You should put the rabbit on your head.
just have the rabbit ride around.
There's going to be a lot of residual things on my head afterwards.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
Any new stories about cord chewing? Has he eaten anything?
No, we've tried. Well, he ate through the remote a second time. If you were so kind as to get me a Logitech thing that you didn't have a use
Yes,
for,
that's right.
and it's next to that is another remote that we have, and he chewed through both of them, and I figured out that it wasn't working when I went to find the cord and see if it was plugged in, and I bridged the connection with my thumb, and went, oh
12 volts to Steve.
yeah, 12 volts to Steve. And so there was some colorful language, and then I figured out that he chewed through his first cable, which was, a bit. I was a bit overclamped, but I was also great. Now I have to repair this thing.
And now it's fixed.
Yes, the second time there's a lot of duct tape on there and electrical tape.
That's what
It's
it's
more
for.
tape now than wire.
You should let the wire expose, and then it's a natural electric fence.
God.
Rabbit gets too close, shocks him.
Our previous rabbit went through so many of those 90-watt Dell chargers like it was nothing.
I just have visions of like someone breaking into a bank, and instead of cutting the wire, they just take out a rabbit. So, cut through these communication wires.
Get the goats.
All right. Well, we're almost on the 2-hour mark, so let's wind this down. Any last minute things anybody wants to discuss or talk about?
No, I'm good.
The geopolitical importance of
No, I don't
Right.
want to talk about geopolitical anything.
I've got scissors. We
Oh,
can
gosh.
cut the cable right now.
and scene. See, I knew you were of good caliper, Eric.
To reach that 2-hour mark, the next 7 minutes are just
It's
going
a
to be all
pun.
puns.
Just
I'm so
watch
sorry.
the caliper. Oh,
Jesse says his online store will be opened in about 5 minutes. So if you need some I8036SX
Spell the whole thing
merch,
out.
you can get it
Awesome.
from Jesse. Cool. All right, well, guys, thanks so much for being here this evening. We really appreciate having you. Hit that like and subscribe button. We do this once a week. We usually have the four of us are usually here, but sometimes we can't be, and we invite our wonderful friends.
Invite. I just stumbled around here.
You were voluntold. Now get back to the box.
Yes, sir.
All right, and if you haven't subscribed to Eric or to Steve, why are you even here? How do you know who they are? But if you haven't, make sure you subscribe. Yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody.
To Ron too,
and Ron
and
Frank and Trina and Eric and
miscellaneous people that come and go.
Just to subscribe to all of us.
Just go to
select all, subscribe.
Select all, subscribe. Have a good evening, and remember, be nice to each other. It's a lot easier to be nice than it is to be mean. So, have a good night.
Bye.